We, in a very, very special way, wish to appreciate all our viewers, all our followers, and all the audience that has worked with us all through 2025 and into 2026. Welcome, and this is the maiden show of 2026, The Dialogue. My name is Apollo, and I want to also wish you a very blessed New Year 2026. In another special way, I would want to appreciate my team, the editors, the producers, and everyone behind this show, but also the panel that has worked us through 2025. Richard Baguma Tinkasimiri, it's always a pleasure. Dr. Gerard Werewanzala, we salute you, and Comrade Rugarama, Charles Kazova, all those who Charity Ahimbisiwe, we really appreciate you, and we hope 2026 will be another year of engaging, another year of informing and sharing views and insights. I take the honor to introduce my panel this morning. From the festive season, I want to welcome Richard Baguma back in action. Welcome to the show, and Happy New Year, Richard.
The Almighty God. The Almighty God, extremely powerful, so powerful that He can destroy all of us, but so merciful
Very
that
merciful.
He keeps us here, even when we transgress. So that is the first one. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
To everyone, my colleagues. I'm with you here, but also to the audience. When I lived away from here, I would not be celebrating the New Year now.
Yeah.
Their calendar in the two different places. I've lived in different places, and the New Year's would be different times. So, for the calendar that we use, Happy New Year. And it's been yet another year of the years. Yeah, so I know that's where we'll be headed, but it's been a normal year, relatively. Normally good, relatively.
The festive season has been largely peaceful, few incidents, and even the road crashes that were reported were relatively low. What is your general assessment of this festive season?
The issues that I'm concerned with mainly, I think the only one that is painful is the alcohol intake. But I think we have done some work on road safety, despite the pushback by whichever forces. And clearly, when you do comparison, or statistical comparison of the road that we have had, including the deaths and the injuries in the same period, the last year and even the last one, if you do comparative, we have had less. We only had one extremely ugly incident where you had 7 coffins in one same compound. But otherwise, we have improved. The insecurity incidents too have, gone down, despite it being a highly contested politically. So that, for me, those make me feel good. It is only the one experience that I think was very interesting for the people who enjoyed it, and I say enjoy, quote unquote, the guys who spent between 15 and 18 or so, 20 hours on the road, along the road. I think that was also an experience that, that they will talk about.
It was so disturbing.
Oh, yes.
And inconveniencing in one or another. But I have to appreciate you, Richard, and it's another year. We have to I hope we walk it together.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
Inshallah, the Muslims, the Arabs will say.
Comrade Dr. Daniel Rugalama, it's a pleasure always having you on the dialogue. Happy New Year to you.
Very good morning to you, Comrade Apollo, and my senior brother, Comrade Tinka, and our esteemed viewership. It's always a pleasure coming back home here, and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
You see, we take some of these things for granted, that you will wake up and will find yourself in the new year. That it is not like that. There are so many people, our brothers and sisters, who are unable. They were unable to enter the new year 2026. Some were bedridden and falling sick in Uganda. Sometimes it can be a nightmare. You just need to have a close relative or yourself to appreciate that our health infrastructure is in a very dire need, and therefore those who are yearning for the health insurance for everybody, I cannot agree with them more. This festive season, like senior brother Baguma has just observed when you are having that conversation, it's interesting that although we have had some of these nasty, very few, but you see, death is death. Even if it is death of one person, you are like, if really that person's death could be avoided. Because now when you look at the 7, I had that police report of the
reckless overtaking.
7, yes. And I don't want to blame somebody who is already dead, but it's just a lesson. That's really, let's try to be as patient as humanly possible, because any small mistake on the road, that's what it. And I agree with Baguma when it comes to his campaign in as far as the road safety is concerned. This other business of alcohol is his business, really. Because, I don't want
you want to defend alcohol?
No, not really. I don't drink, first of all. But
why then is it his business?
I know he's going to lose. The supporters. Supporters are few.
No, there are very many. If you just give me a second, if you look at the Christmas messaging of all the religious leaders, alcohol was one of the issues they pointed out, and drugs. If you look at the ministers, the Minister for Security, the Minister in their messages, they talked about alcohol. And what is confusing is that when they get to Parliament, they start speaking Rudisha.
Anyway, you see, I know, of course, when we go into his favorite subject, we are going to dive. So let me try to avoid it. But when you organize something in that line, we shall talk about. I know how it is.
But we are coming back. Prepare.
They opened Goma, just a small thing. They opened Goma market, this Eastern DRC. And if you look at the amount of wines, actually, like 45% of the alcohol being drunk in Uganda now, particularly Kampala here, Masaka, and what have you, is coming from DRC Goma area. Yes, that's why we have got too much alcohol everywhere. Anyhow, finally, therefore, when you have got a festive season punctuated with the final lap of elections, and you have got relative calm as we have experienced, you can only thank God. Because it would have been worse.
It is usually rare for Pan-Africanists to recognize that God is supreme and in charge.
Let me tell you, Apollo. Actually, let me thank you for this opportunity. Just in a minute, the mistake that majority of our brothers and sisters make is
the Kihurankubas of this world.
Yes, the Kihurankubas, and Kihurankubas professes a different brand of Pan-Africanism. First of all, let me state it clearly here that God exists.
True.
God is there. The only argument we can have, and this we have always had, is this God we are talking about the very God that was packaged and promoted by the colonialist?
Not here. That discussion.
Yes, not now.
I won't allow it now.
But otherwise, to say that God is there, I mean, it is foolish for anybody to say God is not there.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much. And Dr. Daniel Rugarama is a scholar, but also the chairman of the Pan-Africanist movement in Uganda. I really like your insights and really objective arguments on this show, and I also hope we walk this journey together, 2026. Thank you. And now, our viewers, we open up the debate, and it's time to reflect on the progress of campaigns. It's only 10 days to the polling day, and a lot of things are really happening. And like Richard said, is it Richard? Is it Dr. Rugarama? You would imagine that during the festive season, and at the same time, within a politically charged environment, you would expect fireworks. You would expect something, but thank God, it has been a fairly and majorly peaceful festive season. And when we were here last week, Daniel Rugarama, your verdict on what the progress looks like was like, so far so good. Do you still stand by your verdict?
Yes, absolutely. But I have not been disappointed, if I may be permitted the latitude to state it that way. I have so far not been disappointed with the progress of the elections process as it has been unfolding.
You're not disappointed?
No, I'm not disappointed. I do recognize the fact that we have had some isolated incidences, and I had an opportunity to point them out the last time. I'm very sure that we still have what I would call talking points. For instance, we have had a number of candidates being taken out of the contestations.
Disqualified.
Disqualified. And the majority of them happen to be opposition candidates. And that has been a talking point, because whereas Electoral Commission argues that they are following the law, the people outside, especially in the oppositional ranks, and those who really care to say, is it so possible that we could have, we are talking about 16 now?
There are many more than 16. Actually,
many more than 16.
The 16 are the level of the members of parliament.
Members of parliament.
But
We
there
are
are
not
very many
looking at
others.
councillors, we are not looking at maybe LC5 chairperson. So that has been a very serious talking point. Probably, of course, the Electoral Commission has also been redeemed, especially when the matter like that one of Honorable Warukaga went to court, and the court agreed with the Electoral Commission. Some bit of that. But you see, in a world like Uganda, we have two courts. There's court of public opinion, and then there's the conventional courts. So what are the people? What are people and the principle of a bystander? What if you pose the question to somebody you met on the street about the disqualification of some of these candidates, what is he most likely to tell you? That is, Electoral Commission is okay about it, but that's, like I said, a debate, a wider debate. I don't want to go there, but when you look at how the candidates have been traversing the entire country, all of them, by the way, and that the audience has, for instance, not thrown stones at them, and save for some of these incidences where, for instance, in northern Uganda, the were being caned by the military forces. even the explanation which came from the security forces also not convincing. You know, some of these things can be avoided. I have told you time and again that me as an NRM person, and I consider myself not to be a small NRM member, sometimes I get disappointed that some of these things can be allowed to happen over zealousness of our party members. Some of our party members zealous and falling short on the ideological clarity does not help NRM as a party to progress, not within the party ranks, not in the country, the population, and certainly not the bigger picture of the people outside. Therefore, for me...
But Comrade Rugama, when you point out overzealousness on the side of NRM or elements in the party or in security, and you also mention unfair disqualification of some candidates, especially from the opposition, do you still hold on to your earlier argument that it is so far?
You see, we must look at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? Like Baguma here, before my brother entered, was saying that when we compare statistically the road accidents we have had in the previous years, when you look at how the two election cycles we have had and what we have experienced vis-a-vis what we are experiencing now, save for one aspect of disqualification,
which is something new.
New, you see. Apart from that one, I think on the issue of respecting the candidates, allowing them to campaign relatively freer and previously, I think there is advancement.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. You call it progress in any way or another. Richard, before I bring you in, allow me to take the honor and privilege to introduce to our viewers Anthony Asimwe. And Anthony Asimwe is
Vice President.
Yes, Vice President of the Uganda Law Society. He's a lawyer and an advocate.
Radical Nuba.
Of the Radical Nuba. Welcome to the dialogue, Asimwe, to our viewers.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Apollo, thank you. A good morning to the panelists here. I see my very good friend and will be here in the studio. And to our viewers out there, a good morning to you all. I'm glad and happy to be here.
Anthony and his team, the Radical Nuba, recently made a position that they can no longer be neutral in matters of politics, impartiality. They shunned impartiality and opted to support the opposition in this presidential race. Just one word before we read it. Was it still hold on to that position? Was it appropriate for the Law Society to take a position? Well,
the bigger picture to that is the fact that neutrality in the face of human rights abuses, what we've been seeing, where the situation has reached a point where everyone is on their own, it is very dangerous for the National Bar Association to remain neutral. You must come up and speak. We've seen this happen over the years, and if some of you who read, if you've read the works of Desmond Tutu, he's talked about this. Being neutral is like remaining on the edge. You're not sure of which side, because much as historically, it's not like a mandate of the law, but historically, by nature of the work we do as the National Bar Association, we've always been neutral. But in the face of injustice, human rights abuses, blatant, we're seeing torture, we're seeing killings, we're seeing, and the people in charge of the nation are the ones orchestrating this. We're seeing security agencies going on the roads, beating up people in broad daylight, and it's being done. We're saying enough is enough. So if we keep neutral, it means you've chosen the side of the oppressor.
So the radical new bar is now red.
What the radical new bar is not necessarily. If you look at the way we structured it, the way I'll call it Executive Order number 6 of 2005, it is really standing with the oppressed, because we are choosing the side of the oppressed as against the oppressor.
All right, it's another wide debate we cannot delve into right now.
We cannot.
But welcome to the dialogue once again.
Thank you,
Richard. What is your general assessment of progress, like Comrade Rugarama says, of this campaign? Just 10 days to polling day.
You know, I am glad to meet Asimwe. Asimwe, my brother, my real blood brother is Asimwe. But he's not radical. He's contained. So, and one of the other lawyers, Asimwe, who I accommodated when we were in Makerere, is Paulo Asimwe. I think he's also a member of your society. You see, because of Godba is my good personal friend, whom we totally disagree politically, and we agree on everything else. We have grown up together. I was telling him, we were discussing this thing of declaring that I support this one to mean I oppose the other one. And I don't want to go into that because there is a time, another bar, I think, they did something to the Attorney General, I think. Was it Attorney General at that time? Dr. Makubi. There is something they did.
Certificate
of incompetence.
Nyombe.
It was Nyombe. Certificate of incompetence.
Yes. Which is okay.
I had thought that there would be something similar. They would say we have withdrawn our support to this one, but they would not place it on another one.
But even with the
no, for the presidential one. Yeah, so that was peculiar, and I hope I will have a little bit more understanding of their radical actions and what it did to them after the show. Not as a part of the show.
Richard, tell us
and you see, first of all, Apollo, I want to talk about, and sorry that I'm diverting, I want to talk about my standing out issues of 2025. The first one, the alcohol control bill was thrown out of Parliament. That Parliament did not deem any provision in there meaningful for this country. We can drink when we want, we can drink how much we want, we can... I think for me that stood out. But that is just supposed because I associate, I told you, with about 19 rehabilitation centers in this city all around Kampala. And you see the people who are there, the children, the ones who are paying the money to keep people there, are the same people. I'm like, how do you come in your private life, you are crying, and in your public life, you are posturing this way? It was very interesting. And then in all their comments now, we are talking about the same thing. That was the first thing. The second thing is the death on the roads.
Yeah.
We have so much death on the roads. It's almost a daily occurrence. But every time there is an attempt to regulate it, there is so much pushback. So again, we are crying, oh, you finished on the roads. And then we are behaving in a suicidal manner on the roads. And then any attempt to regulate us becomes wrong. And I see that one also reflected in politics. We cry about the way we are governed, about the rampant corruption, looting, like I call it, the impunity. But when we go to cast our, we cast it in certain ways. So it's been a very interesting thing for me. I don't know why we cry this way and behave the other way. It's something for me. Going forward with the elections, there is nothing fundamental for me around these elections that is going to change in the 10 days, except by the hand of God. It can only be by the hand of God, but there is nothing fundamental that is different on the ground. The President Yoweri Museveni is going to be declared president, except for the hand of God. There is nothing.
Why should it not be the hand of God that he is going to be declared the president? Why should it be the hand of God that he may not be the president? But
you know, I try when I was going to speak, when you were speaking, I asked you for a minute. I expect discipline from Dr. Gara.
Fine.
And the discipline is part of the NRM process. For us in the NRA, we are much more disciplined than the reactionary people in the NRM. And I've been telling you about this difference.
Answer the question. Why would it be by the hand of God to have...
That question presupposes that that I must say the hand of God is the one that is keeping himself in power. Have I or any other person doubted that?
No way.
No way. So there is no doubt about that. But except for the hand of God, he will again.
You don't see anything new?
Nothing. So I talked about on another platform yesterday. I talked about the drone culture. Yes, we have developed a drone culture. Pick. 100, 200, 300. We have a drone culture. I don't see what is going to change. The drone culture is going to be here. Where would the drones go? So this thing,
no, you see,
this thing that is going to change, I don't know.
In just this week, the highlight, I hope, is the detention of
the Tor woman
of Sarah.
Sarah is Tor,
yes,
Sarah is Tor.
And you can predict, you can give us your assessment. How in these next 10 days,
maybe another 10 people will be picked.
Oh,
yeah. Pick.
It is possible. You hope it is possible.
No, I'm not hoping. I am pointing out to you, Apollo, that what I have observed over time, I do not see anything that has changed. That is going to change that. If any of you see, please point it to me.
All right.
I was telling the journalists I was with yesterday on another platform that I have covered elections long enough. I have not seen fundamental. Dr. Chiza Besigye, in one of the interviews, directed his comments to Robert Kyagulanyi and said, you see, when you have just come, you should be very keen to listen to the ones who have experienced the journey which you are taking.
Who have been longer.
Just listen. You may have you may be fundamentally okay for you are powerful, but listen also to their lessons. I think it's important. So for me, in the next 10 days, a few people may be picked. We have had the drone culture. It has been ongoing. I don't see what has changed.
Richard,
the players have not
your final verdict
I don't know.
reflects something that we have not learned anything from history. History has not taught us anything.
What history has taught us is that you must not stop to struggle. History has taught us a very fundamental reason, that whatever the situation, you must not stop struggling for better. That's, I think.
But if we are not, changing for the better,
for the next 10 days, you see, I don't know if you have seen people who weigh meat when you are buying.
No, Richard, you're saying...
No, wait.
You're saying this election is not any different from the past.
Fundamentally, it is not. So what is
then
different?
We've not learned anything.
So what is different?
You're literally saying there is no progress.
So what is different? And that's where I want to be to you.
It's stagnation.
What happens is you see, when increment is not much, it is not quickly visible. That's why I was giving you the analogy of the people who cut meat and they want to give you a kilo. Usually when the kilo has not reached, they slice a little, throw it on the... it doesn't tilt. Then they slice another little. Eventually it tilts, sometimes even tilts more. Then they get that piece and slide it off. So the changes that have been happening, and they have been. I do not see them making the difference, that turning the weighing scale in the next 10 days.
All right. So
that's what I'm telling you.
You're saying we must expect more of the same. Thank you. Anthony, talk about the last 10 days of the campaigns. What should we expect?
Well, thank you, Apollo. I've been following a very interesting discussion from an elder here. And when you took it, the part of history, being an ardent reader and a follower of history, I've read about, I wasn't there, I've read about how this government came into power, what prompted actually what the president, our president now, used as a yardstick to say no, things must change. And it all started with an election. And we have all those, I've seen videos, I've read these things where he accused the government in power then of, stealing an election. There were those irregularities rigging and saying, we shall not accept the outcome. But then it decided to use a gun. And while coming into power, Uganda promised a lot of things. The bigger part of my generation were not as were born around that time, some of us. But the promises were so many for a democratic governance. And as time went on, I think a few years, we saw the 1995 Constitution. Now that Constitution, which made 30 years last year, we are now in a new year, was a document that was, everyone celebrated. When you read it, it's the best document. It's one of the best constitutions on the planet Earth. And in that constitution, you have this thing called democracy, where the people, the citizens, should determine and choose who leads them so that we don't go back to the bush. Now, unfortunately, like you're saying, we've seen our history in the elections has not really changed much from what happened in 1980. We are seeing the same things happening now. Now, when you're talking about the last 10 days, what would you describe as something that has characterized these elections, especially the campaigns? We've seen a situation where I do not want to believe that it's a real democracy. We have it on paper, but in actual sense, what is happening? You find a particular opposition candidate. Their rallies have to be, disrupted by security agencies, government institutions, police, the army. They are beating up people. They are torturing people. This, in essence, is aimed at intimidating people. There's no leveled ground for, on a play field. It's like you're having a football match. These people are supposed to be 11, but the other 11 should play with their hands tied. And you expect to have a referee. The referee in the middle is also having a side, a direction, because you see some of the declarations they are making, and you really cry for our country. Now, if we really needed to have this as a country, we needed to grow democratically in a civil society, I believe things should be done differently. You talked about Sarah Virete. We are seeing what is happening, and I'm glad he mentions it. I said it yesterday. I said today it could be Sarah Virete, tomorrow it could be another person, and the next day it's another person. Why is it that these are the people who are being targeted? We know what she does. We know her role.
Yeah, but Anthony, listening to the elders, the people you called elders here, they made it clear that this is not the first time we are seeing these things. These things are happening.
Exactly.
Are these things new to you?
Well, you refer to history. These things have happened before. They're still happening. And as Ugandans, we have to, we are seemingly helpless because there's nothing we can do about it. So basically what the elders are saying is, this is what has always happened. We should be comfortable with this. We should, because
the elders did not say we should be comfortable. The elders said we must never stop to
struggle.
Thank you. So
wow. and now for me, that's what brings me to the most important part of what should we do as Ugandans? Yeah. What should be done? Because we have leaders in power who have promised a better Uganda, a leveled ground, where people's rights are respected. And we have these documents we are signatory to so many international covenants, by the way, where the citizen is supreme. But then again, we are seeing these things happening in broad daylight. I personally feel, I should use the word disgusted, by the way the state institutions are operating. I'll still use the Sarah Vilete issue. Now, we are saying we should not stop struggling. When Sarah Vilete was arrested, even when we went to police, I was there personally from day one. She's taken to Natete here, across. I passed here, going to see her. First of all, seeing her, we know constitutionally she has the right to see her lawyers and relatives and doctors. But even seeing her is a struggle. Now, after you see her, they say, for us here, we're just holding her, we're keeping her. The case file is at, KMP, CPS. You need to look for such and such a person. You can't sit the whole day. And then you're finding out why has she been arrested. She's been already in custody for a night, but they can't even tell you the offense with which she was charged. Then the following day, that's when they are coming to record a statement. Now, shockingly, you know when constitutionally, someone is not supposed to spend 48 hours in police custody before they are produced in court. You're saying, okay, she's entitled to bond, she's a citizen. And they're saying, no, we cannot grant her bond, you wait, should be presented in court. You appear in court. That's the moment you're appearing in court, that's when they are bringing the charge sheet. A charge which is very ridiculous. Now, you can this charge sheet, and I remember actually you had to give it to her to look through. She just laughed. She laughed at it. Because at the time of arrest, you don't know the offense with which you're charging a person, but you just want to have the person arrested and put inside. And now, the judicial officer, the judiciary, you are saying, okay, she's here, this is a charge. You don't want to begin challenging it now. For now, she's entitled to bail. She has substantial sureties. She has a permanent place of abode. She's a citizen, everyone knows. She's not a risk. Even the charges you've brought, you can't say she'll interfere with evidence. And this judicial officer, also breaking the law further, says, now I'm adjourning for 21 days. And by the way, which is against the law, because someone who is on remand, you cannot remand beyond 14 days. For her, she says 21 days. We come back on 21st, when an election is done. Now, you look at the way the institutions, the government institutions, are being used. And I asked a question, who are these institutions working for? These are the taxpayers. Are they working for the taxpayers? So that means, and following what the elders said, we are going to see more arrests, and it's a police to prison pipeline. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you want to represent, how much English you speak, because the institutions are literally under capture. So even the institutions that we should be using to struggle to fight are also not helping, because they have a particular side, they have an intention. So that is why we find ourselves in a situation where, what kind of struggle should we do? Because we are saying, if someone has been arrested, there are procedures to be followed. But it's obvious. So it's like, we're not surprised. It's as expected, this has happened. So what more can we do, or what more should we do?
Thank you. Thank you, Council Anthony Simwe, the Vice President of the Uganda Livestream. My name is Prince Apollo. We continue with the big show.
He reminded you to add the radical new bar.
The radical new bar, which recently abandoned neutrality in this presidential election. We will invite your observations and views and opinions. Send them on WhatsApp 0701 609906. Tell us what you think we should expect in the next 10 days as we head into the final lap of the campaigns. Mr. Medisera is watching.
Oh, really?
We appreciate you.
Oh, yeah,
and
very much. Happy New Year.
He's my big brother. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you and family. Comrade Rugaram, as we prepare to wind up the first half of this discussion, quickly, avoiding delving into matters of sub judice, what do you make of this arrest? Having Dr. Sarah Vilete, a vocal member of the civil society, arrested and now remanded for 20 days? Around 21 days.
Yeah.
20 days. 21 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 on an offence from the charge sheet, unlawful obtaining or disclosing of personal data contrary to section 35 and 2 of the Data Protection and Privacy Act, Cap 97. We understand this is related to the voters register, that the information she disclosed is related to the voters register. What is your personal opinion on and again, looking at the timing, just was it 12 days to polling day?
Call it 13 from the time she was arrested. Now, there are so many things to say, but I will just make it short. One is that Sarah Villet is our friend. She's our colleague. She's a member of the Radical New Bar, but she's also a Pan-Africanist. And she has been in the trenches with us for such a long time. I am
for the benefit of our viewers, yes. Let me read the particulars of offence. Sarah Villet and others still at large. Let me hope my comrade Asime is. Between the month of January 2025 and December 2025 at various places within Uganda, including Kampala, Mukono and Wakiso districts, unlawfully obtained or disclosed data, to wit, national voters' information controlled or processed by the Electoral Commission without prior consent of the said Electoral Commission. Proceed, sir.
That charge sheet is problematic. We have talked about it in various lawyers' forums, and we have concluded that either somebody who was drafting it was in a hurry, or indeed there is nothing really to charge Sarah Villet with. It
has to come from the DPP's office.
Yes, and the people there are not angels. They either have, some have got problems, and maybe somebody was holding a panga against somebody's head or something like that, but I don't want to go into that now. What I'm saying is that I was just giving you the relationship we have with Sarah Villet, and I'm saying that from that, against
what
that...
What is it to do with the relationship between you and Villet? It's a matter of the law.
No problem. There's no problem, and we have just been discussing so far how the same law you are talking about has been abused. They were raising, our vice president here was raising very serious issues. He was like, he gave you chronology, and you, a seasoned and senior journalist, you know what he has been talking about. But at the same time, we know that Sarah Villet heads a private institution or NGO,
Center for Constitutional Governance.
Yes, which directly
watchdog.
Yes, which directly deals with elections management and democracy and etc. in this country, and she happens to be the chairperson or the president of the
East Africa,
East and Central, something like that. It's such a big, wider body. Now, for anybody to plan that such a person should not 10 days to such a big exercise should not be present, it also does not make a lot of sense, really. And I may not necessarily be somebody who is into the nitty-gritties of national security, but I want to believe that the timing itself is also very suspicious. When you look at the timing when she has been arrested and not given bail, not that they are very serious. You see, we are able, we are not idiots. We are able to see that this bail has been denied not on very serious grounds, really.
That's what I want to hear from you, Comrade Rugarama. You are a lawyer.
Yes.
When you relate to the offence,
you see,
and the denial of bail, what do you pick?
One, why didn't our brother Sim was in court. I was not there, but at least I got the information. What did the state say in opposing the bail? Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh.
Do you know what that means? State has said nothing. Actually, for me, if I were the magistrate and state says nothing as far as bail, and yet state is represented, and there's nothing that is said in opposition, I don't waste time. I just grant bail.
Okay, let me hear from Richard. What do you make of this offense? I don't know, I know you're not a lawyer.
No, I don't need to be a lawyer.
But the decision...
I don't care about the offense.
But the decision is to say related to jail until after elections are over.
Offense things. I have spoken to security people. I have been told one time I was facilitating a group of security people on communication. And we bantered that during the tea break. I said, if we want to hold you, there is something called a holding charge. It can be anything and you'll be held. It doesn't matter who. So the lawyers were going to their legal gymnastics. That's what I usually call them. They will go and do their legal gymnastics. But you see, this is politics, as far as I'm concerned.
You see politics?
This is politics. There is no legality. Sarah was not doing legal work. The Center for Constitutional Governance is not a legal organization. It's a political organization.
Yeah.
It's
a civil society organization.
It's about saying this is not right politically. Sarah Verete, we belong to one of these diary of intellectuals. She calls the chairman of the EEC Byabashuma.
But that's a joke.
Injustice Byabashuma. Yeah, but it's a joke. But you see,
it's a serious joke.
It's a serious joke. So you see, Apollo. Sarah was mentioning individuals in this country, which we know. Sarah, I know Sarah personally. Yeah, see, whom you mention, and you know you'll be detained.
Oh,
that's why I say Sarah is tall. Sarah has stood tall. I'm not talking about the Ruzi. Sarah is tall. No, Sarah has stood tall. Sarah is a woman who is really courageous.
Yeah.
Many of these people, I'm not saying the ones I have in studio, cannot say the things Sarah was saying. They cannot, even when they believe that she's speaking.
Did she cross the line?
No, which line? There is no line here.
That's what I'm asking.
No, there is no line. There is absolutely no line. You see, there is no line. The line which is set by whoever it is at their whims, then that line is shifted and adjustable, so you can't know when to cross or not. So Sarah was very, and you see, this talking or bail or what? The timing, what do you mean? The timing was, you must be picked and not eat ursoka. We call it ursoka, New Year's Day, with your people. You must know where power lies. You must know.
So,
so go stay there.
From you, what is the motivation?
So forget this bail or not, go stay there. You're going to go stay there.
Comrade
what are you talking about? You come and go. Okay, now go talk about the elections.
2 minutes.
When you are there.
2 minutes to the break. What is the motivation behind the arrest?
Go, you must be shown, and all the others around you. Power belongs somewhere. Okay, if you are powerful, go. Let's see how we'll talk about the elections. Go there, eat posho, and it's called the fridge. Yes. You go and cool down.
And Baguma,
okay.
Baguma, just finally here on this. For me, that is my biggest problem with my party. I said it in private, but now I can say that's my biggest problem with my party. NRM is a mass party which is iced with some of the best top brains. I can assure you I respect Sarah Verete, but we have got people within NRM who are vested with sufficient knowledge to combat, intellectually challenge her. I have had, like, I will give some of the examples. You do not have to agree with the man like OO, for instance. But when OO, even if he's telling a lie, he's very persuasive. Why don't you? He has been, Awich, for instance, is our colleague. Yes,
we must go for a break.
But he's our colleague and he has been debating with Sarah Verete. And he's a senior member of NRM. Why can't for instance, a witch poller, and those in his category combat Sarah Verete's arguments, poor as they may be construed to be, other than arresting her and giving the rest of the world that belief, to fortify their belief that actually Sarah Verete probably was even saying the truth.
So are you disappointed with your NRM?
Yes! On this I am.
We go for a short break and
No, but that does not project power. It does not bring the question of, fear is a very revolutionary sentiment. You know that?
We need to do better.
Didn't you know?
Yes, we need to do better.
Is it witch hunt? Is it a move to silence the critics? Or Sarah crossed the line? We go for a break. On return, we look at that issue, but also we'll be looking at the battle for the Uganda national flag. The police has issued a stern warning to those who are violating and disrespecting the national flag, but it is very clear those who have been flying the flag high during campaigns are the National Unity Platform supporters and leadership. Let's go for a break. When we return, we interrogate that and other issues. Don't go away.
Soul Television, Femunyo. Essala ya Mukama waffe. Matayo essula ey'omukaaga olunyiriro olw'omwenda. Kitaffe ali mu ggulu, erinnya lyo litukuzibwe. Obwakabaka bwo bujje, by'oyagala bikolebwe mu nsi nga bwe bukolebwa mu ggulu. Otuwe leero emmere yaffe eya leero. Otusonyiwa ebibi byaffe nga naffe bwe tusonyiwa abatukola obubi. Totutwala mu kukemebwa naye otulokola eri omubi. Kubanga obwakabaka n'obuyinza n'ekitiibwa bibyo emirembe n'emirembe. Amiina.
Tusonge Morocco ne Uganda Cranes wamu ne MTN. Kula buguzi bando ya gaga ngonyiga star emunoti noti star noti hashi ofuke omukisa asobola okwewangulira olugendo lusasuliddwa okugenda okulaba Uganda Cranes ng'esamba omupiira mu Morocco. Gaga tusonge Morocco ne Uganda Cranes wamu ne MTN nga tuli wamu faya yaffe teremesebwa. MTN amateeka n'obukwakulizo bigobererwa. MTN erungamizibwa Uganda Communications Commission.
The temperature of the water that I drink does not really count for hydration. Many times, whether it's cold or hot or warm, all contribute to hydration. However, the temperature improves comfort. So during a hot season, I'd rather take cold water because that gives me a more refreshed feeling. While if I'm having a meal, warm water is better for digestion. So choose the temperature of water that makes you drink water consistently.
Ministry y'ebyokwerinda ejjukiza buli munnayuganda nti ddembe lyo okulonda. Weetegereze bino wammanga. Goberera amateeka n'ebiragiro ebiteekeddwawo okukuuma obutebenkevu mu kiseera kino. Tososonkereza mukuuma ddembe yenna kuba naye muntu nga ggwe. Ku lunaku olw'okulonda tuuka mu kifo w'olina okulondera olonde. Bw'omaliriza oddeeka olinde ebivudde mu kulonda. Kiyamba obutaleeta mujjuza awalonderwa n'okukuuma obutebenkevu. Ministry y'ebyokwerinda neetegefu okukuuma bannayuganda n'ebintu byabwe. Birangiddwa Ministry y'ebyokwerinda.
Kampala was the genesis, taking over the city and the outskirts on 107. Now covering the whole nation and beyond. Bududa, Palisa, Budadiri, Budaka, Mbale, Sironko, Busia, Tororo, Bukedea, Butaleja, Chibuga, Chankwanzi, Mitiana, Mubende, Chiwale, Chenjojo, Chegegwa, Chiruhura, Zimbabwe, Raka, Gomba, Yantunde, Masaka, Kalungu, Luengo, Butambala, Bukomansimbi, Kagadi, Mbarara, Chinja, Bunyangabu, Toroko, Bundibujo, Kasese, Kamwenge, Chitagwenda, Burahia, Rengoma, Karambi, Mukuso. Anywhere in Uganda, Soul FM got you covered. 107 Kampala, 97.5 Mubende, 102.6 Mbale, 95 Mbarara, 98.2 Jinja, 90.3 Fort Poto. Advertise with us and make your business known to every Ugandan and the rest of the world.
Nawereze ekizuka kyekule bali ekkubo emmotoka neetagala omusajja emmotoka egenda n'asooka girwanyisa erina okudda ku bbala akasi akamusekudde yalwana n'emmotoka n'asooka gitereeza n'ekomawo neetera bulungi ku bbala laba firimu gwe kyekyo ky'olinawo ekisinga ogamba nze gwagamba ali mu nnyonyi ogamba nze eyo ye shoti yesinga njagala ondageko. Okay, bubanga kyoyagala kankulageko. Yasumulula ebyasi, ekimotoka n'akiweereza ebyasi. Kabaka n'anyiga omuliro. Sigenda kuki imiriza osaaga. Osaaga oli mu muzannyo. Ojja kiyimiriza. Katonda wange basekula ekimotoka. Kabaka n'akulaga nti mwali takivaamu. Nyumirwa firimu ku Sort Media app kubwereere. Osobola kugidownloadinga ku Go Play Store oba ku App Store kubwereere. Eno teliko ku loginga in, teliko kusubscribinga mbu buli mwezi sasula sente weziti. Eno bakuwa access wonna woli. Oli mitala wa mayanja, oli mu Uganda ya bwereere. Eno tevaako mbate kino kisikidde, mbate kino kyekutte, mbate simanyi kino kyala. Kuambe no bogifuna oba olina bibiri ku simu yo, oba olina radio ng'olina ne TV. Nyumirwa Sort Media efulumya ebizimba, ebisanyusa, ebiyigiriza nga titibyesitaza. Femunyo ddala.
Soul Television, Femunyo.
Welcome from the break. This is the Dialogue on Soul TV. My name is Prince Apollo. On the show this morning, we reflect on the new developments as we enter the Center for Constitutional Governance. And Sarah was arrested. She was held in custody for 2 nights, then arraigned in court and sentenced. Remanded until 21st January.
Sentence of 20 days.
So she was not. I thought she was sentenced to stay in prison until after the election.
That is a
No.
sentence in actual
Okay, this is the thing about us lay people.
Yes. And viewers, we will be receiving your comments and observations. Especially, we ask, is this a move to silence the voices of dissent? Is it intimidation as others are, or Sarah and others have really crossed the line? And Sarah joins a long list of critics, government critics, Waiswa Mfumbiro, Chiza Besigye, and many others who will not participate in this election. And we'll also be looking at the serious warning that has been issued by police and the army regarding the alleged misuse of the Uganda flag. And according to the police spokesperson, Rusoke Chituma, there are some incidents where the national flag was hung on electric poles and used without authorization, and he described such acts as disrespectful and unlawful. Police is saying they will not hesitate to arrest and punish those who are disrespecting the national flag. Council Asimwe, as we wind up on this issue of Sarah Birete, what do you think is the motivation behind her and other arrests?
Well,
other people's arrests or individuals' arrests?
Well, in this whole Birete scenario, it's the government that is breaking the law, because we have a law. In fact, incidentally, even the law that was cited under which the charge was brought, from the time of her arrest, being arraigned in court, being sent to remanded and everything, all those institutions, everything they've done is break the law. Actually, when you look at the charge sheet, they're saying that Sarah Birete and others at large, meaning there are so many other people who can easily be picked and added on to the same charge sheet. And I want to briefly, he says there are lay people, but the law, even the law they are using, you read through the charge sheet, and it is to do with that she unlawfully obtained or disclosed data from the national voters information. Now,
without prior consent.
Without prior consent
of the EC.
But what is the national voters register? The one they're talking about. And we have the law from the Presidential Elections Act. The National Voter Register is defined as a National Voters Register compiled under Section 18 of the Electoral Commission Act. And its purpose is for voter identification, polling station allocation, verification under elections. We also have the biometric verification regulations of 2025. And this is where the voter data is used at polling stations for verification. Voter allocation, slips and IDs are also scanned at that stage. And then we also have the particulars of the voters that are displayed on the biometric kit. Now, this alone confirms to you that the National Voter Register is not a secret or a classified database. It is actually used for the public at polling stations. That is why you're allowed to verify. Now, the question is this publicly available, accessible? And yes, it is publicly accessible. That is why it is displayed for purposes of you establishing where you should vote from. It's a public document. It's not private information. Now, when you go to the Access to Information Act, Section 4 says that every citizen, every Ghanaian citizen has a right of access to information, records in the possession of the state, unless this disclosure would, there are about two things. prejudice security or sovereignty, or interfere with privacy. Now, the same Act, Section 5, a person's right to access is not affected by their reasons for requesting for information. But now the major question is, even when you look at that same Act, the public bodies like the Electoral Commission, they must maintain the manuals, subscribing what records they hold and how to access them. So, according to that Access to Information Act, the Electoral Commission is a public body. It must disclose that information they have, the database, and it should be clear how I can access that information. Now, Section 8 that says that information officers' contacts must be published in public directories. So I can even make a phone call and I ask, this is the information I want from that office, and they should give me that information. Now, Section 9, the chief executives of those bodies must ensure that these records are accessible to the public.
Including the voters register.
Exactly, because that is a public document, it's a public institution. Now, Section 19 again says the records can be inspected, copied, or provided in electronic form.
Yeah, actually, at nomination, every candidate was given a copy, soft copy of the voters register.
Exactly. Now, what does this mean for the National Voter Register then? We're saying, even before, the Electoral Commission has historically made this, register available to the public, like you said, for the public to inspect it at parish, district level, every level, where you're even supposed to have, for purposes of verification exercise, and it is accessible for political parties, candidates, like you're saying. It is actually what they hand over to you. And also through voter allocation slips. So what we are saying is
so what is it that is unlawful about disclosure of
that's
the
where
voters?
I'm coming. And this is why we are saying this is a public record under the Act. Okay. Now, what is the interaction between the Access to Information Act and the Data Protection Act? Because you see, they brought the case under the Data Protection Act.
And Privacy Act.
Exactly. Now, the law, the way it is structured, even under the Access to Information Act, there's a section at the beginning which is very clear, Section 1.3, that nothing in this Act detracts from any other written law giving a right to access to a record by a public body. Meaning any other law that tries to run off from that is inconsistent. But then again, I want to go straight to the law where she was charged, because the major law, the Section 35, under which she was charged, and I say that there's that word unlawfully obtaining data and unlawfully disclosing
data.
Public data. So the key word is unlawfully. This is the law they're saying Sarah broke. And we are saying this National Voter Register one is it's public and accessible. It is provided by the law, displayed to the public, accessible under the Access to Information Act, and also under the Election Commission Act. So what is unlawful about, even if, let's say, she did it, she got the information and shared it. So then obtaining and sharing that information cannot be unlawful at all. You cannot unlawfully obtain what the law already makes public.
So, Anthony, we may not have time to dig deeper, but as a lawyer, a practicing lawyer, what now do you make of the application of this law? Because this is an offense that is from the prosecutor's point of view, is grounded in the law.
Well, and that's now as I conclude, I wanted to give you that background so that you understand how absurd it is that even the person or the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions would allow such an offense that does not even exist to be put on a charge sheet, and how a judicial officer can allow such a law to be read in open court and presented, and even it's in the public. It is a joke. It makes us look stupid as lawyers, people who practice law in this country. Because at the end of the day, when the defense side were there, we are lawyers. The DPP is a lawyer. The judicial officer is a lawyer. Our duty is to interpret laws, and you cannot allow an illegality. But this shows you what we've been talking about, and I said it earlier, about these institutions being used to satisfy the needs of other people. The elder here says this is all political. There's nothing legal about it. But unfortunately, they are using the institutions, the established institutions of law, to ensure there's the rule of law, access to justice. They are being used for politics, which makes us look stupid. Yesterday, someone posted something interesting that now we had a discussion that things have changed. The robes are bending for the boots.
What does that mean?
These are orders. Like I said, it's politics. It's an order. It's an order from someone to court. Security agencies are saying it is security. You have to have this person in court. And the judicial officers who put on robes,
the robes
should be the ones respected by the other people. Instead, they're the ones now who are bending to that. So they must lean at the whims of the boot. And that shows you, we've been talking about independence of these institutions, especially the judiciary. The judiciary, by nature, should be an independent institution. It should not allow to be directed on what to do. The judiciary should be, there's that independence. Even in the Constitution, we have separation of powers, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. It shows how bad, where we are now as a country, that we don't have a single institution that acts on its own. It's an assumption, maybe, because under normal circumstances, if the person was independent and competent, and working in accordance with the law, there's no judicial officer who would do that. And to make matters worse, the charge is read. Yes, says I did not do it, and we're talking about personal liberty. Why would under normal circumstances the judicial officer fail to even give a verdict on that and say now you're remanded? Because that is what the people in power want. Like you said, the first question now is, do we look at it? What do we make of this? Of course, it's to silence dissent. Sarah, like he's saying that Sarah is told, we know she has always been outspoken, she has been speaking. The government in itself has failed on its civic duty of sensitizing the public about some of these rights. Now, Sarah has been doing that, sensitizing the public about their rights, as far as voting is concerned, what you can do, what you cannot do, because the other part, the institutions are giving us misleading information. You heard before the police saying you should vote and go home, but the law says otherwise. But they're saying the national flag where we are headed, they're saying others, but she comes and says no, this is
Richard says that Sarah used to say some things that you people cannot even say. In your own opinion, is there a point where you say really Sarah has crossed the line?
Now, and let me answer that, it is no, because there's what we call freedom of expression. While we call ourselves the radical new bars, we felt the other people who are covering up, massaging these people, we need to say things the way they are.
Oh, that's who you are.
That's who we are, and that's why we actually say, that's why I said yesterday that today it is Sarah, any other person can be picked. That means whoever speaks out against the evils, against the wrongs, or speaks the truth to power, you're likely to be picked, because now the actual offense is speaking truth to power and telling people what they need to hear, what they should be hearing, as long as, it is offending the people. See, people use, the law is a double-sided sword. So now, that is why we have the judiciary in the middle, because the law can easily be used by the oppressors.
Thank you.
To silence
Richard,
the voices.
We conclude on this matter.
No, Sarah will get out.
But when?
Will get out. Because Sarah is already there.
Yeah.
Now. It is an exercise of power. It's so the gymnastics of regalis can continue.
You said you were disappointed with the NRM, but what is your standpoint as what is your standpoint as NRA?
No, let me tell you. We have said previously. I have said, okay, let me say that, you see, as far as I'm concerned, NRM is Waringa. So you are still inviting me to talk about Waringa. I have been consistent on that one. So don't invite me to talk about Waringa. That is the first one. I agree with generals who said it is a very reactionary. It's a very reactionary group. But this is also what has happened. On both sides, by the way, on the red and yellow sides, we have capture. And this is extremist capture on both sides. The extremists on both sides are the ones really carrying the day. The voices of reason, the voices of calm have really been overthrown.
Oh, so politics has been overtaken by extremism.
On both sides, yes. And it is reflected in the armed forces, it is reflected. You see, Apple, I give you the example. I come from Mbarara, the Raja Mbarara is cut into whatever it has been cut, Kashari, I'm related to this injury. You see where I am. There is no reason for you to get Nkoni to go and beat people around what is his name? Around Chagurai in Kashari. There is no reason. The reason can be that you are, because I don't know if there is emotional maturity in politics. So the word I used is that you are politically emotionally immediate.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the only reason you can do that. It is immediatism, really.
Comrade Rugarama, let's conclude on this matter and we shift to another serious issue of the national flag.
A very quick one, Comrade Apollo. The national resistance movement
you are in Waringa.
Of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Your association has been reduced to Mirage.
It's a Mirage. Okay. It's okay. Of course, that is Waguma for you. And when you look at his assessment politically, by the way, there are elements that where you may agree with him. But anyhow, what I wanted to say is this. When did NRM under Yoweri Kaguta Museveni change from wearing a thick skin to some of the insults and some of the abuses? Because if, for instance, we take it that not necessarily what is in the charge sheet, because the charge sheet, like we have said, and this, of course, the DPP intends to amend during those these days when Sarah is in Ruzira. I don't know.
It could be amended.
Yeah. So it is that. But I don't know how they intend really to sustain those charges and prosecute successfully. I don't know. But that's a different matter.
What if their intention is what
that
Richard has?
That's another thing. But what I'm saying is that the NRM under Yoweri Kaguta Museveni used to have a very thick skin. That even some of these insults and abuses and what have you. I remember at one time the late, what was the name again? This Mwiri Obi, the one who passed away, used to be the presidential advisor on media.
Chirunda?
No, you are talking about Onapito.
No. This late
advisor.
Yeah,
oh, you are talking about this man from Mengo. The man from Mengo.
Yes. At one time, when they were insulting Museveni, and he came to him and said, "But see, Your Excellency, I cannot accept these insults again. My work is to stop that." Museveni was like, "What will that do to me? I will not die. I will still remain the president." So I want to believe that it would be a mark of shame on my party if now whoever makes, however slight or deep insult on any of NRM or people in government, then he must be or she must be treated by arrests, disregard the law, then remand. I don't think that is the party that I subscribe to.
So you believe the arrest of Dr. Birete was a reaction from individuals or big shots in government who could not sustain her insults, like you said. That is
what the outside public. You see, we are part of that public. That's why the outside public. It's not what is on the charge sheet. No, but that's what the outside public is saying.
All right. Let's take your comments, viewers, as we shift gears to look at the stern warning from police to those who are disrespectful of the national flag. But let me see if I have comments here and observations. It says...
The man was called Nagend.
Yeah.
Yes, Nagend. Yes, exactly.
There is nothing big about the arrest of Dr. Birete. She is like any other person. she's a new player and police have the right to arrest. It is constitutional till she is confirmed not guilty. Okay, let me check the status to get the message. Alexander is the one who sent that one.
Oh, but that kind of, the lawyers need to advise me. That changes the approach, that you are guilty until proven not.
I must say that one is blissfully ignorant. I'm sorry to say that.
And not
because that is not what the law says. You cannot arrest. I don't have to prove my innocence. And like we were saying before, he said it's politics. Any other person who has that kind of thinking.
It is the state ignorant. Now to prove that he's guilty?
In any case, before you arrest me, there must be a charge you're holding against me. There must be a charge. And in any case, by the way, when you look at the law, we're not going to go deeper into the law. You must not arrest. You can even invite me if you say, I'm in breach of the law and you invite me for a statement. I can bring myself to police. We've seen this happen. But you don't arrest me, put me inside, then begin looking for the offense I've committed.
Asim, we must surround your house. We must project power. You must know.
You remember how our brother chapter 4 chapter 4 was arrested from Kamwacha. But then
Nicholas
just
Opio.
Something small. Yes, Nicholas Opio. It was absolutely not necessary. What I wanted to mention there, that statement which our brother has just made is not an isolated statement. This is one of the troubles we have in our party. The overzealousness. It is okay. You see, the word of debate is very interesting. That you were even allowed to talk from pointless to nonsense. Forgive my language. to talk from pointless to nonsense. The problem is that if you can keep that in the comfort of your bedroom, because you are not going to annoy people. I'm NRM here. Whoever doubts it, that is his problem. But I'm not going to sit in this chair and start bubbling things which are obvious.
Right.
Otherwise, I will step out and people will ask me whether I am crazy or something like that.
Let's take your comments and observations. Use the number 0701. It's displayed on the screen. 609906. Send by WhatsApp, send by SMS. Abel Keru Akampumuza, our ardent viewer, and he says, good morning Apollo and the panel, happy new year 2026. My submission on the election progress is that contrary to Mr. Rugalama, Mr. Rugalama, I am disappointed with how the Electoral Commission is disqualifying candidates out of the race. To be specific, is the candidate against Honorable Magogo, where the Electoral Commission, based on grounds of retirement letter as a yardstick for his disqualification, I think it is setting a bad precedent. I am Abel Kera Kampumuza. We discussed this matter, I think, last week. We may not go back to it again. The issue of the growing list of people who are being disqualified over this and
interesting
other
But I think I pointed that one out as one of the talking points. So I didn't necessarily.
Okay, I'll be taking other comments as we move on. But let me first hear from you, Richard. The issue of the national flag. Police says there have been incidents where the national flag is being disrespected, leaving it to scorch in the sun, the rain, and everywhere, as especially the Noob supporters.
Do you have an official statement from police on that?
Yes. In a press conference.
Yeah, in a press conference.
Wow.
When I used in my earlier days, I am a very proud Ugandan. I'm really proud of my country. I've resisted a lot of times to stay in other countries. Apollo, you may not have lived elsewhere.
You're a patriot.
I don't know, but I'm very proud of my country. Because the word patriot has also been corrupted, I think. I disagree with people on that. But I would put the flag on my dashboard and the Uganda and the UN because of my association with both. And this is really out of the pride. But also when I lived out in the places I have lived in, you know, the flag is in somebody's window, the window of the bedroom, you know, hanging out.
Especially in the US.
In Norway as well, I've lived in the US, I've lived in Norway. You know, You need to see them on their national days. They don't dress in anything else.
They put on
socks and
national
headscarf and so it is very difficult. It's a very difficult thing to try and take away the flag from the hands of citizens. It is it is so tough. That's why I saw one person, I think she's called the commission, I'm not sure about the
Erin Seku.
Speaking, I don't know the names, but I was like, this person really is sounding very ridiculous. But she looked to me as looking a smart person. She didn't look to me that she must be educated from the looks.
Commissioner Erin Seku.
I didn't know what, but she must be educated. You could see that she had a microphone with the people, and I could see that she was speaking Rudicha. Oh. And I'm like, why do you struggle with this thing? For you, if you are not part of it, just keep away from it. But to try and take a flag out of the hands of citizens can be treasonous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may not be in the law, treason. But I think you are really undermining the country yourself. Yeah.
You're stripping themselves of the nationality.
You are undermining the country. What other symbol
could they hold there?
What other thing do you pride in apart from your flag, from your national flag? What else? So what really?
But Richard, I will ask you the same question again. Yes. What is the motivation then behind these warnings from not only police but also the army?
This for me is strange. It is the strangest situation I have been in for I don't know how long, because I can't even understand what the motivation is, frankly. It's like, okay, so
looking at how especially now, let's be very clear about what you're saying. This is about the opposition NUP who have been using flags in their campaigns and elsewhere. Looking at how they have been using these flags, do you find any element of misuse in any way?
No, I'm not.
No. I'm just asking.
Because you see, no, I am responding because you see, misuse is used in a legalistic manner, and you see, me, I have refused all the time. I have been on talk shows everywhere to be pulled into legalism. I'm not very.
Yeah, but it is within the law.
I don't know.
National flag.
I don't know. But if it is within the law, then that law must be amended now. You see, Apollo, how do I tell my nephew, my son, my whoever, that please, this flag you are holding is very dangerous for you. Please hide it. How am I supposed to explain?
But you have to tell them, you have to respect it, you have to honor it. You don't have to misuse it.
Okay, so let me, Apollo, say, so how do I tell somebody to respect me? Is to hide away from me? I'm not saying you answer. No, don't answer. Honor. No, don't answer. Yeah, I'm not asking you to answer. I don't want to put in a corner that when I'm asking you to respect me, I'm asking you to say, when you see me, you hide. That's when I will know that you respect me. Yeah. Is that what I will tell my children, my students, I don't. So you see, it's a very difficult position to be. And that's why you see, some of these jobs of being spokespersons can be very difficult. Yeah, I think you come and you sweat. Yes, you do the things, you go back, you go shaking your head. But you had to do. Apollo. So, tell me, if somebody is waving a flag, that is supposed to influence where I will vote? Does that influence my vote because somebody is waving a flag? Really? So, you see, midgetism is a very serious disease. It's a very...
I wanted to ask a question. Are these brothers and sisters of ours who are waving Uganda national flag, have they added anything on to those flags which they are waving? Maybe that could be something.
No, I didn't pay attention.
These are our usual official national Uganda national flag.
According to Commissioner Erin Seku, There are display rules for the flag. Time to hoist it, it's 8 a.m. in the morning and load it at 6
But where are those
p.m.
rules?
And she says, unless under exceptional circumstances, like rain during public events, allow them to stay. Exceptional circumstances. Number 2, must be treated with respect, flown higher than other flags, and observed with silence during hoisting or lowering, often with whistles, drums, and signals. Prohibited uses, it is here. Don't use it for business, trade, or profession without ministerial authority. Don't design clothing or household items like bed sheets with it. State occasions wrapped around a casket for state funerals reserved for high officials. Now we look at the prohibited uses. Let me bring in you, the lawyer. Please.
Bwana Paul, I think we need to get serious as a country. And these people should stop taking citizens as fools, because they're not speaking to, trunks of dried trees standing there. The only law we have is the National Flag and Memorial Ensigns Act, which came into force the time we got independence. That is on the 9th October 1962. And this was for purposes of bringing this national flag as a national identity. That's how we identify ourselves. Now, the only part here and there which she talks about as unauthorized use is that one we talked about, using it for any business, trade, calling, and professional. Because you see, it is for everyone. Everyone has a right to use the flag as long as you're a Ugandan. I want to ask one question. Most people are sports lovers. Every time we are having, you've seen us host, the national team is going to play. How many people do you see holding the national flag? You've been to offices, even government offices. They have those small flags they put on tables. Is that wrong use?
Even on cars.
Even on cars. Have you seen police come out to say that is wrong, you shouldn't use that flag? You cannot purport to make law as police. They do not have that right. The right to make law is by the parliament. And those things they're talking about as prohibited act, there is no law that prevents a person from using or holding a flag in any format. That is why the elder was telling us, you go in some countries and they are out in windows. When you say that, I think these security agencies are structured in very strange ways. The other day when I was at police, following up on the Virete file, I was moving out of CPS and they stopped me, I think in the evening, and they were going to lower down the flag. It was actually 3 flags: the Uganda flag, the East Africa, and the one of Uganda police. So the man just told me, "Mama Apple." I didn't know what was happening. Then I looked around, and that's what was happening. But you see, that is their discipline as police. That's how you treat a flag. It is it's an institution, but it is very wrong. There is no law that is breached like police is attempting to do for holding a flag, a national flag, or for showing love for your country. Everyone has a right. You cannot restrict me from holding a national flag. In fact, they're the ones now who are in breach of the law, because you're attempting, he said should actually be treasonous for you to stop me.
So what Commissioner Sekou pointed out
is
as misuse.
It's misleading. There's nothing as misuse.
Under certain circumstances, it can only be allowed to be left in the rain or in the sunshine, or what must be respected.
She's telling us about the flag that is being hosted on the pole.
Not these ones we wave.
But these flags I have, any Ugandan has a right, as long as a Ugandan have a right to hold that flag and use it.
Comrade Rugarama, your submission before we go out to our viewers.
Okay. Now, let me hold the bull by its horns. I don't know why, again, I must go back to my party. We seem not to be improving on the side of innovation. If, for instance, as it is being widely spoken, that the issue our brothers from the police are coming into the flag use, the national flag, how it is used, is because the members of the opposition seem to have taken it over. All the youth MPs, as we talk, are NRM. At least we know they are going to win anyway. I can assure you, therefore, by implication, it means that NRM has got many more youth than the opposition combined. If it is a question of numbers, why don't we get the flag and encourage our members, the youth members in this country, to outnumber completely, outnumber the ones in opposition, if it is about politics. Now, for us to fall back on the security forces and to want to use them to clamp on the opposition because they have come up with the innovation to do with flags, may the soul of the late Tamare Merundo rest in eternal peace. When the new people came with the red is it beret? Or the beret, whatever the name. Yeah. He also came up with his yellow one. Beret. You see? It may not have been as popular because he was not supported.
You no longer have think tanks where you sit and...
That's the thing. That we are killing innovation, thinking, rational thinking, at the altar of praise singers. These ones who come and raise up their thumbs, make useless, empty rhetoric, they are the ones who become more NRM. And you wonder, where are the young ducks? The ones that used to be in NRM, who, if he engaged you, she engaged you, in any platform, radio, TV, the world will accept, even if you hated such a person. You say, but this man is very serious. We need to reinvent ourselves, and we stop misusing institutions such as police to fight our party battles.
But by the way, you mentioned
you sound again disappointed with your party.
Yes.
Banapo, when the Bele came out, it was immediately gazetted because it was easy to do that. That is why so many people are putting when the Bele were arrested, and some of them are still in prison. Now it is very hard to gazette a Ugandan flag, and I think they didn't see this coming. That is why
they would have gazetted it.
They would have gazetted, but you cannot gazette a Uganda flag.
Let me read the comments. Allow me to read the comments. Thanks for our program. Good. But I think if a NUP supporter are banning the flag, it could be okay. But they just waving another thing. Okay, I will try to edit, of course. Why did the government stop football supporters in Nambole during the Uganda Cranes praying? Silvai Opondo in Boyogerede, I think he is asking why the football supporters are not stopped from waving flags, and he somehow says that perhaps if the NUP supporters are banning the flags, then that's misuse, which is
understandable. Yes,
which is understandable. Thank you so much, Opondo. In previous elections, hundreds of thousands of NUP supporters were arrested for what was termed as military attire. Similarly, the police are now looking for a justification for arrests of innocent Ugandans. This is Wilson Okongo in Lugasi. Who knows? It is your opinion. Okay. He says, hi Sol TV, this is Sally, live from Entebbe. Uganda has been quiet for 40 years. And we are just waiting for an incident to trigger our anger, just like what happened in Libya. We are not happy. That's an expression of fury. Mr. Polo, as a law student, I feel sorry for Mr. Simwe, who clearly knows Sarah's arrest was a political matter, but as Vice President of ULS, Uganda Society, has to help her out. We all know Dr. Sarah's arrest is a political matter, not a legal matter. I am Abel Kera Kampumuza.
Yeah, but they brought it under the law. So what does Asimwe do?
Asimwe has to follow the law. You want him to form a political party?
Now you know why we chose to stop being neutral.
Thank you, Abel. The national flag is not entitled to any political party. But if you can assess what Sam Kutesa was saying in a video, intimidating people, anyone that is found with the flag, not Sam Kutesa, there is another Kutesa who... Major Kutesa. Yes. I think that's what he's relating to. Sam Kutesa is a veteran politician. And actually, this is an army, a serving army officer who makes public statements. I don't want to say intimidating.
We remember him.
People about the flag. If you make a comment, you can make it.
That is a simmer to make a comment, but for me, I can tell you, I can tell you that there are certain things that happen. And if you are General Tafira, you start distancing yourself from them.
Like he's doing.
Okay, the national flag is a symbol of unity.
Exactly.
Truth, the police is beginning to fear unity among citizens, especially during elections. This is Oliman Apuna from Kumi. Is it police that is behind this push against the national flag?
The ones coming up with a
But
statement.
they are the ones coming up with statements.
No, you asked an important question. And for me, I think the key word is behind. The police is the front, it is not behind.
It's being fronted.
Okay. Mr. Apollo, thanks for the show. Police is simply being redundant and idle. What is wrong with Ugandans waving their own flag? Soon they will regulate our bedrooms. Shame on them. This is Wanyaka Sam in Mbale City. We now have to plan to conclude. We only have like 6 minutes. And if there is any other message, I'll be reading it.
No, there is something about the flag. Maybe if I can just state.
Please do it as we conclude.
Would, for instance, our security forces like Uganda Police be happy? Like I had started seeing these bikers over the weekend. They would be having the British and the American flags on their motorbikes, riding to Entebbe to have a good time. And I was experiencing a sense of betrayal that our people are not patriotic. Now that we have got a growing number of people who are holding their national flags, is that really a problem? In my opinion, and I may be sharing this opinion with so many people out there, is that we are having people who are hiding behind police and that kind of stuff in order to clamp on these aggressive youth who, for political reasons, want to express their affiliation, which is not necessarily the position of NRM, and then our NRM faithfuls want to stop them, and they are looking for every reason, including shambolic reasons such as that, in order to stop that. But I want to conclude.
Will you stay longer in NRM?
Yeah, I am, and we are the ones who are going to redeem our party. I can assure you, let me tell you, the revolution that is going to sustain NRM as a party for another 20, 40 or so years is going to be done by ourselves, we the members of NRM. There is nobody, not anybody from NUP or any opposition political party who is going to come and change this country.
The people who are saying these things are also NRM. Who are,
unfortunately,
they claim.
Unfortunately, this is what I was saying. We have got a growing number of people who have not taken the time to educate themselves ideologically on NRM ideology, but they are the ones who are shouting loudest, and they are mistakenly taken to be the true faces of NRM.
Richard Baguma, your concluding remarks. Do you think there is something good in the deployment of national flags by NUP in their campaigns?
There is no problem. It's good that people have their flag. It doesn't matter who they are.
I'm saying, is there anything good out of that deployment, the continuous display of the national flag?
There is a lot of good actually out of NUP. One of the things is that they have provided a platform for the people who want to express themselves against the NRM. You see, human beings cannot be on one side. I have consistently said that. So it was FDC and what now it's NUP. NUP has also now shown that our young people have their flag. So we should encourage every young person and old one to have the flag. You see, if there is one viewer who gave an interesting, and that's why I want to conclude, an interesting way that this is in preparation to detain people. You see, there is a trend that has happened over the years, increasingly, the prosecutorial detention for political reasons. It has increased. You don't get sentenced. You stay long in detention, but within the prosecution process. Within the prosecution. So there has increased this. Sorry, I keep calling them sentences, but the prosecutorial sentences have become longer. The processes of prosecution have become longer for people, especially those who are related to political issues or those who annoy the people in power.
That is an indictment.
It has increased. So that's the process. If that is what it is meant to do, then it will detain another. Last time, I think, how many were 400 something who were detained. You remember the Karanga incidents and all the incidents. So probably now, this is also going to do the same. But otherwise, I don't see any value. In fact, I see midgetism really.
Councillor Anthony, your concluding remarks. Do you see anything good in people associating with the national flag like the NUP are doing?
Well, everything, they are rightly doing that, legally doing it, and everything about it is good. There's nothing wrong with it. But unfortunately, we are seeing it being used politically, which shouldn't actually be the case. Because under normal circumstances, cannot say because a particular political party is.
You don't see any case of misuse.
Why don't they also hold the flag? There's no case of misuse. If they had been obliterating it, maybe adding their own photos, like my colleague here said, it would make sense. But there's nothing wrong with holding the flag. They have a right. The flag unites us all. In any case, everyone has a right. I would have no problem if everyone had a flag on their house. But like we are saying, we are seeing the police trying to look for excuses to criminalize the act of using a national flag, which is very wrong, which is very unfortunate. And I think it is over pushing beyond what they should be doing.
All right.
They are giving themselves the powers they do not have, which is very wrong, and it will take us back to probably the situations where we shouldn't be.
Thank you so much, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving us good company. And it's now a whole new year of engagement, and we hope to work with you all through this year. Thank you so much. We appreciate the comments and observations, and of course I must thank in a special way my panel. Comrade Dugarama, thank you so much, a scholar and a Pan-Africanist who is critical of his own NRM.
Positive criticism.
I wish you the best.
In the same regard, we call upon
the
system to bring back our own Semakade. Yes.
Comrade Ndugu Richard, thank you so much, and happy New Year once again.
Thank you for bringing me. I'm a young brother. I can have another conversation with him. I have the person I have never understood is somebody called Semakade, and I'm told that he's so atrocious that if you talk about him, he will come for you with the. Please don't talk about him. He will bring out his clothes. I'm saying what I have had.
Very nice person.
Same way, it's a pleasure having you on the show, and thank you so much for turning up.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure being here and sharing with the public. Thank you for having me.
To our viewers, thank you so much, and the production, thank you. Until next Saturday, God bless you. God bless you, Uganda.